All right, right on, folks. John Crane here in the sewing section of my shop, and I am sitting in front of this industrial overlock machine. And this is an amazing piece of equipment to have in the sewing shop. I got this not too long ago, and I'm very excited to have this machine. Now, I'm not going to go into great detail of how this machine works today, but what I am going to do is I'm going to take off the old clutch motor that is on this machine, and I'm going to replace it with a servo motor that has a lot more control. Now, if you know anything about these clutch motors, you know it is like a wild racehorse at the Kentucky Derby. These things go super fast, and when you put on a servo motor, it really slows the machine down. You have a lot of speed control adjustment. It all comes down to control of the machine. You want to be able to feather that pedal, go slow, go fast. So that's what I'm going to do today. Take off the old clutch motor and put on the new servo motor. All right, let me give you a close-up of what this machine is. This is a Yamato 6-thread overlock machine. Right now I'm only running 5 threads on it. It has 5 threads capable here on the front, and the 6th thread here drops down in the back. But these are just fabulous machines, and it's amazing how they work, and they do these looping stitch and these chain stitches. I'll give you a little example here of how this runs with the clutch motor. All right, let me show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. We'll start this thing up. When you start the motor on this, it sounds like a jet engine taking off. And we'll run another piece through here. What this has is some blades right here. This actually cuts the fabric on one side, and then it's stitching as well. This has a chain stitch is what this is doing. Here, now this is a 6-thread machine, but right now I'm only using 5 threads. So this is giving a safety stitch. So this is a chain stitch. This uses 1 thread here on the top, 1 on the bottom. You can see the chain on here. This doesn't have a bobbin. This is what has loopers. And this right here, these loops that go over the outer edge, this is 1, 2, 3 threads that makes this up. So we got 5 threads going on here. If I had the 6th thread going, we'd have another stitch right down the center of this. Now this kind of stitch, you're going to see this in a lot of clothes, like your jeans or shirts. If you look inside, you know, a shirt that you're wearing, you're pretty likely to see a stitch that looks just like this. All right, but let's get on with the project. Now I need to take this apart, so I'm going to take these spools of thread off, and I'm just going to snip. All right, here's a quick look at the back of the machine. So we got the clutch motor here, and we got the belt. The drive belt goes right up here to our sewing machine. And this is held on by a bracket that has 3 bolts. So we're gonna take this whole thing off. Now the tables that are made for these Sergers, they have this little table that has a hinge here that flops over, and this allows you access to this part of the machine right here. And this machine just sits in here. It's not bolted down or anything. And so if I lift this up, I can slip the belt off of this pulley in the back, and I can just lift this whole machine right off. Oh, there's the chain though for the presser foot here. I'll unhook this. All right, now I can just pick this whole machine right off. Now what we're looking at is this metal base that the machine sits on. It has 4 rubber feet that sit in each one of these holes. Spin this all the way around, and I'm gonna attempt to flip this up onto this table. Now these clutch motors, they are pretty heavy. Okay, now that's not too bad. right, now I'm gonna pop off this wire. This is just held in here by some old Romex staple. Boy, when you look at these sewing machine tables, you think sometimes, like, could you build the stuff any cheaper? But I guess for a factory setting, this sewing machine did come out of a factory. I think the factory, this was Columbia Sportswear is what they were sewing with this machine. They were making backpacks and jackets and that type of thing, outdoor wear. I know this is upside down, but what I'm gonna do now is disconnect the pedal here, and here is the linkage. Now, you see how this linkage is adjustable. Also, what I wanna do while I have this upside down is I wanna take this bracket off, and I wanna give myself a couple more inches. I'm 6'1", and my legs are pretty long, and it's hard to get my knee in between the pedal here and this table. You see, this table does drop down a little bit lower than a regular table because of the Serger. So I think what I'm gonna do is move this bracket here, this bar that's holding the foot pedal, and I'm gonna move it to the bottom of this right here. This will give me another couple inches for my knee. Right now I'm gonna undo this linkage, just loosen this, and now this will slide. 3 bolts here, carriage bolts that hold this to the table. So I'm gonna undo these. All right, now I should be able to just lift this motor right off. Yeah, just like that. Okay, I want to show you a couple different servo motors, a couple different ways you can go. Now here is this Enduro 550 watt servo motor, 110 volts here. This has a dial on here, a manual dial that you turn to change the speed on this motor. It also has a switch on the back so you can switch the rotation depending on the orientation that you got this set up on your machine. And then there's a servo motor like this. This is a little bit smaller, and this is digitally controlled. This has some nice controls on it. I did have this on my Conso 206 RB at one time, and I did not like it. I wanted some more control. This has the needle position sensor. It's got a bunch of different things here that you can utilize. It's got the reverse. You can really just slow it right down right here with a touch of a button. So I took this off the Conso, and I've had it sitting around, and I think this is the perfect use now, is to put this on the Overlock machine, because I just kind of want to set that to 1 speed and let it go. One thing I remember about this motor is it does have a brake on here, and it did have a piece of cork, and I took that out because when the machine was stopped, you couldn't just freewheel the machine by hand. It had this piece of cork in here, and it was really stopping the machine from turning. It's nice to be able to rotate the machine by hand if you want to do a little hand stitch or get the needle in the right position. All right, while we're at it, I just want to show you the motor that is on this cylinder arm machine. Now this is a Mitsubishi Limistop Z. Now this is still a clutch motor, but this has this old computer on here, and this is actually pretty cool. This has a needle position sensor hooked up to it. You can stop the needle either in the up or down position, and this will also do back tacking. So if you heel down on the pedal here, this will do a back tack like a lock stitch. You can set the distance of how far you want that lock stitch to be. This even has a speed control. You can get this going pretty slow, not as slow as a servo motor, but you can get it going pretty slow. Now this is only 0.5 horsepower. I am thinking about swapping this out, putting that 1 horsepower servo motor that I have on this and put a speed reducer on here. This will give this a lot of control, but that is in an upcoming video. All right, back to our regularly scheduled program. We're gonna put this motor, this Enduro motor, on here. Now I know I'm gonna have to get a shorter belt for this because the other pulley was quite a bit different. It was a lot higher. I know now I can line this up with this square. I know where this pulley needs to land is right about there. All right, this almost lines up with the old holes, but not quite. And I even think the other motor was on slightly crooked. So I'm just gonna trace inside these holes. And you can see here that I've got the pulley lined up with this slot. I used a square to get this nice and straight with this slot going up to our machine. And then I'll drill 3 5/16 inch holes here. All right, now I'll pass this up from the bottom. This is 5/16, 2.5 inch. There we go. All right, there's 2. All right, and number 3. And then this also gets these little anti-vibration little rubber washers. All right, and hopefully our motor fits on here now. Yeah, really nice, just like that. Keeping an eye on this alignment of the pulley with the center of that slot. All right, now what I want to do is I want to mount this switch. I'm used to having the switch on the right side of the table reaching for the on and off, so I want to have it here. Before it was located over here and it was under the table quite a ways. You were just reaching around under the table. I don't know, that was a strange spot for the switch. But right here, this metal is in the way. I could mount it out here, but then it's sticking out. So what I did was I made this little block of wood. Nice. And while I'm here and I got this upside down, I'm gonna pop this lower pedal off and adjust this down so I get a little bit more leg room. All right, I pulled the linkage off of the old clutch motor. They do give you some linkage when you get the new motor, but I'm just using the old one. It seems to be pretty good. This, I can see on the pedal, there's some adjustment. I can move this over and get this aligned nicely with that lever. So we're going straight up and down. Yeah, just like that. Oh, that might be just enough, just like that. All right, Marvin K. Mooney, the time has come to flip this back over onto the floor. And now this table is a lot lighter. All right, let's drop the old Yamato back in place. I did take off the belt guard so I could take the belt off. Now we can see how long of a belt this is going to take. All right, now under the machine here, I got the old belt. I'm going to loop this on, and I'm going to loop it around this one too. And I'm going to kind of pinch it and get an approximation. I got this metallic silver Sharpie. These things are actually great. Let's see, I'm going to try to pinch this, and then we're going to get a measurement off of this belt. This does have more adjustment. This is adjusted all the way up, so we can push this down and tension this against another belt. I got my floppy tape measure. I'll line this up with the one mark. So it looks like on the outside, probably a 33 inch. I'll have to check the stock here in the John Crane hardware store. I might have to run to the store. All right, let's see what we got. up here in the belt storage. Yeah, this box right here. All right, none of these match up. I need one 33 or 32. So it's off to the store. Let's see what we can find. All right, I went over to Ace and I did find a 33-inch belt. It's a little bit thicker than the other one, but I think it will do for now. And maybe I can order a thinner belt. But maybe this does the job. You know, it's nice to go to a store and just pick something up. While I was at Ace, I saw this knife sharpening machine. What do you guys think of this knife sharpening machine? And I'll stick this light back in and rewire this up. All right, I just got this all threaded up and it's going nice. Look how nice and smooth that is. I can go really slow with this. What a beautiful thing. I tell you, these servo motors, that is the way to go on these sewing machines. All right, let's try this on some fabric and see how we do. Very nice. Look at that. Look at that stitch. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's try it again here. Yeah, look at the stitching on that. Beautiful, beautiful. I see I can adjust my tension a little bit. I can get that loop a little bit tighter. But that is looking great. What a nice thing that servo motor is. All right, right on, folks. There we go. Got the new servo motor on the Overlock machine. This thing is running like a dream. You know, no more stress coming up to the machine. I'm just going to tap the pedal and this thing's going to run the fabric right through it. You know, put myself at a little bit of ease when I come to use this machine. And I've also lowered the pedal here. Now I can fit my knee under here. A lot more control, a lot more ease. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to do a lot more videos on this machine, how it works with the loopers and how to thread this, different types of stitches that you can do with it. You know, I'm working on a lot of stuff here in the shop, working on those DOP kits, some firewood carry bags, the new tool bag that I'm working on. I'm going to be posting these things up for sale coming soon, so stay tuned for all these videos and some new products. I think you guys are really going to like it. All right, hope you're all doing great, and I'll see you all soon. Right on. Watch your top knot.